Good afternoon, and welcome to the Eagle Court of Honor for Blake Travis. I figured it's about time to get started because, like all things Scouts related, it's close enough to the start time that we're good to go. My name is Jonathan Travis, and I am honored to be here not only as Blake's father, but also as a Scoutmaster for Troop 9168. Today, we gather to recognize years of dedication, leadership, and service as Blake achieves the rank of Eagle Scout. You would think I wrote this thing, I might be able to read it. So at this time, I'd like to call this Eagle Court of Honor to order. I now invite Foxton Hunt to please come forward and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the Scout Oath and the Scout Law.
Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in the Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout Law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Please join me in the Scout Law. The Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent, too. Thank you.
To begin our ceremony with the reflection and gratitude, I invite the Reverend Ryan Motter, Senior Minister here at Creekwood Christian Church, to come forward and lead us in the invocation.
Let us pray together. Gracious God, in your amazing wisdom and grace, you have given to us so much. Among all the things that you give to us, the gifts of leadership help us to see the world for what it is. They help guide us and encourage us. They help us find paths forward into new ways and new visions for your creation. This day, as we celebrate one who has achieved so much in leadership, one who now is achieving Eagle this day, we give thanks. Help us in this hour to remind ourselves of the gifts of leadership that are in each of us as we admire and celebrate all that Blake has accomplished. Be with us. And let the spirit of this room be one of joy and inspiration together. We pray all this in the name of your Son, who still leads us this day. And together we say, amen.
Now you can be seated. At this time, we will move forward with today's program. It is my honor to return this Eagle Court of Honor over to our Master of Ceremonies, Assistant Scoutmaster Chris Blocker, who will guide us through the remainder of the ceremony.
A little bit ago, we recited the Scout Law. Scout is more than a list of words. It's a way of life that shapes how a Scout becomes. Few U.S. presidents have embodied the Scout Law more than the first, George Washington, even though he died long before Scouting began. At the age of 15, Washington created a set of rules for himself, many of which align with the points of the Scout Law. And we ask now that you listen to the wisdom of President Washington.
A scout is trustworthy.
Okay. Undertake not what you cannot perform, but be careful to keep your promise.
A scout is loyal.
Be not hasty to believe flying reports to the disparagement of any. Speak not evil of the absent, for it is unjust.
A scout is helpful.
Wherein you reprove another to be unblameable yourself, for example, is more prevalent than precepts. In visiting the sick, do not play the physician if you be not knowing therein.
A scout is friendly.
Show not yourself glad at the misfortune of another, though he were your enemy. Let your conversation be without malice or envy.
A scout is courage.
Be not forward, but friendly and courteous, the first to salute, hear, and answer. Speak not when others speak, sit not when others stand, speak not when you should hold your peace, walk not when others stop, Turn not your back to others, especially in speaking. Lean not on anyone.
A scout is kind.
When a man does all he can, though it succeeds not well, blame not him that did it.
A scout is obedient.
Honor and obey your natural parents, although they be poor. Strive not with your superiors in argument, but always submit your judgment to others with modesty.
A scout is cheerful.
Speak not of doleful things in times of mirth, nor at the table. Put on a cheerful countenance, for good humor makes one dish of meat a feast.
A scout is thrifty.
Let your discourse with men of business be short and comprehensive. In your apparel be modest, and endeavor to accommodate nature rather than to procure admiration.
A scout is brave.
Fight to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience.
A scout is clean.
Use no reproachful language against anyone, neither curse nor revile. Let your recreations be manful, not sinful.
A scout is reverent.
When you speak of God or his attributes, let it be seriously in reverence.
All right, JT, I got like 4 scripts up here now. Here we are. I got it. Psst. We're going to make it work. We are gathered here today to mark the end of a long journey, longer for some of us than others, a journey up the trail to Eagle. You got to come up here for this part, sir. All right. As a new scout, Blake's first task was to learn the basics of scouting, including our ideals. Once he did that, he became a full-fledged scout and earned the scout badge. Yeah, you're a little ahead, it's all right. Kind of like day one, just saying. His new badge didn't stay on his uniform long. He quickly worked through the tenderfoot requirements, doing his first service project, going on his first camp out, learning basic first aid skills, and then you were a tenderfoot scout. Okay, here we go. As he continued to be active in the troop, he learned about nature and orienteering and knot tying. He learned to protect himself and others. Doing these things earned him the second-class badge. More time passed. He's now been to over 10 campouts and many hikes. And he's mastered all the basic skills of scouting, and then we made him a first-class scout. At this point in the path ahead, it becomes less clear. He now has to make some choices. Which merit badges to earn? What troop office to hold? Where to spend those service hours? With hard work and persistence, though, he made those decisions, completed those requirements, and earned the star rank. The next rank seemed no harder than star, but he has already earned many of the easier merit badges, and most focused on the Eagle required merit badges. He worked hard as a troop leader, completing more service hours, and became a life scout, the step away from Eagle. You sure you want to do this last one? Because things got pretty tough now. He could no longer put off the harder merit badges, and now not only did he have to participate in service projects, he had to plan and lead one. If you look through the window, you can see the results of Blake's Eagle Scout project. Blake, along with several of his fellow scouts, each played an important role in transforming the area outside the sanctuary into this beautiful prayer garden. As you depart today, please take a moment to stop and admire their hard work and dedication. So now finally, with an Eagle project done and his merit badges earned, he stands poised at the pinnacle of scouting. It says you can move it over there already. I don't understand that. It's now the time for the highlight of our program, the presentation of the Eagle Scout Award, which you kind of jumped the gun on there, sir. It's all right. So we've heard today about what it means to be an Eagle Scout, and now our honoree will have the chance to tell us a little bit about what being an Eagle Scout means to him. So Blake, do you have a statement or a thesis? Which is it? An essay. All right.
Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who came out today, whether you came in person or joined online. Your presence is greatly appreciated. Life is an interesting thing to witness and to live through. 18 years ago, I was diagnosed with Stickler syndrome, and according to doctors, I would not be standing here in front of you today. Many thought I would have been in a wheelchair by now or in worse shape, but despite the odds, here I am. And not a day passes that I am thankful for the opportunity I was given in life. My journey through Scouts is something I will never forget. From each day camp in Cub Scouts to high adventure camps and Boy Scouts, each one was serving their own purpose for me to learn and grow from, but more importantly, to challenge myself with. Cub Scouts gave me memories that I look back at and just think of how time has flown. It used to be planning out how to build the best Pinewood Derby card with my dad, to now planning how to survive a 35-mile week-long hike at the mountains. Memories you can't make up, and ones you surely can't forget. Cub Scouts, the intro to BSA as I like to call it, and where many people decide how would they want to start. From going door to door, asking for non-perishable items, to friendly competitions with their fellow pack members, seeing who has the faster wooden block with wheels. Each activity having a high and a low. From standing outside grocery stores in 30-degree weather, asking people if they want to buy $20 worth of popcorn, to achieving first place overall in Pinewood Derby. Each moment was a moment I learned and grew from. And so I thank you, Cub Scouts, my pack 233, for giving me an activity to take up my time that I actually enjoyed. Boy Scouts, the official beginning of the long road to the Eagle Rank. That road was a very tough and long road. Starting out as a scout, you learn the basics like knot tying and the basic everyday first aid skills. You get to start going on campouts and have fun. You start earning merit badges to learn of more variety of skills. At summer camps, you get to take multiple of those merit badges while getting to have fun. My first summer camp was at Lost Pines. There, I earned my first 3 merit badges: leatherworking, swimming, and first aid. This was done through a program they offered, Trail to First Class. This not only helped me earn merit badges, but also helped me knock out a lot of requirements from Tenderfoot to First Class. Eventually, the week came to an end, and essentially I was basically in the next rank. Tenderfoot, which proved that I improved on those knot tying skills, cooking skills, and first aid skills. Now I started to learn more and got used to these skills more often. We went on campouts once a month, each with a different theme, from sabotage kitchen campouts to a wilderness survival. Each one had a different purpose for me to learn and grow from. The requirements for the next rank grew more tedious. But with the help of the adults, you can achieve it in no time. Second class, the rank where merit badges start coming into play. Needing merit badges to rank up made it so you had to learn more and new skills. You couldn't stick to working only during meetings. Now you had to work outside on your own. You also had to hold a leadership position within the troop for a set amount of time. I was elected as a troop quartermaster, organizing our trailer for campouts and being in charge of making sure we had the right amount of food. It made me stop and think that this is the point when you realize what the Scout was made for. Not only did you have to work on merit badges, but have a leadership position, but you had younger Scouts coming into the troop that, with being the smart choice, you had to interact with to get along and help the troop grow. First class, the rank that unlocks more possibilities in your scouting career. You're finally recognized as being able to go on high adventure activities, but the work you have to do becomes more on your own. To aid in that, you're eligible to go to a leadership camp called NYLT, National Youth Leadership Training, which is made for you to go further as a person. With this, you had to earn more Eagle required merit badges, making you learn more and more. Some are easy and can be done online, like Family Life, while some took over 3 months to complete, like personal management or fitness. Eagle required merit badges were designed with the real world in mind, learning to budget money for a goal, or learning how to take care of yourself. The high adventure camps were made for the older Scouts to have fun, as most of their requirements couldn't be done during campouts anymore. My first high adventure camp was Philmont, where, depending on what your troop does, you spend a set amount of time in the mountains backpacking. Our troop did a 60-mile hike over 7 days. We had daily meals, cooking essentials, and a guide for the first 3 days. With my syndrome in mind, this was by far the most challenging thing for me in my scouting career. We had hikes that would change elevation by hundreds of feet over a short distance, or hikes that would span a lot longer than we thought. In the end, it was worth it. The views we saw were amazing, and the different things I got to experience with my father and my brother were fun too. Star. This is the point where you really decide if you're going to Eagle or not. With the requirements left against most scouts. This was because there weren't many of the tasks that you had to do, but all of the specific details were needed. You had to be the rank prior for a certain amount of time, of months, and had to hold a position for a certain amount of months. And you had to earn more Eagle required merit badges. You weren't allowed to reuse merit badges for each rank. That would be too easy. So you had to find merit badge counselors for the ones you needed. Not only that, but these requirements took time, which for some people they had plenty of, while others not so much. This rank is when you really get tested with how badly you wanted to Eagle. While still going on campouts, they weren't as frequent due to some of them being mostly to help younger scouts out. Life. The home stretch to the beloved Eagle rank. Your hard work is paying off, but your job isn't done. More merit badges, more life skills you can learn. This is when most scouts lose their drive to reach Eagle. It's either due to running out of time, or some just not seeing the satisfaction of finishing anymore. The requirements repeated, but with a twist. The dreaded Eagle Project. In no way is it a bad thing, but more of a tiring thing. You had to plan, fundraise, and execute a project that would benefit someone or something in your community. Some chose to build benches for a school, and others chose to repaint a whole room for a restaurant. The projects varied a lot, but the message was the same across all of them. You had to reach out to whoever you were helping, come up with an idea for your project, present them with a rough draft of what your project is, and with any given information they'd like, and come to an agreement on a final draft. Then you had to take the final draft, present it to the Orion District to get it approved as an Eagle project, fundraise any money you need, schedule a work day, recruit people to help you, and finally, execute your project. But even then, life can happen. You can have bad weather that forces you to reschedule, or you underbought materials and you have to pivot to a different approach, or it just doesn't go as planned in its entirety. That's the hard part of the Eagle project, having a plan and it just not following through. After that's all said and done, you fill out a section revealing the project, going over what you spent, any challenges you faced, and how much it changed from when it was first brought to the district. The Eagle project isn't designed to be hard. It's designed to teach you how to plan and lead a project. But you aren't alone. You get what's called an Eagle coach, an adult there to help you along the way, there to check your spelling, there to be of aid in any way. Finally, Eagle Scout. Congrats! You made it to the end of the road, but not just any road, the end of your scouting career road. Even as an Eagle Scout, your job isn't finished. You're an inspiration, someone younger scouts look up to, someone who can still help in many ways. Just because you reach the highest rank in scouting doesn't mean you have to leave. You can still go on high adventure camps, and you can still help younger scouts with their requirements. Scouting isn't designed for you to be done once you reach Eagle. It's designed to prepare you the best way it can for the world. I had many people who helped me reach this point in life. Some more than others, but still enough for me to want to say thank you. Thank you to my mom and dad for sacrificing a lot more than I realized to help me get here. Whether it was scouting related or medical related, you both helped me in a lot more ways than one. Thank you to this church, this wonderful congregation, for being a second home to me throughout my life. Thank you to my Eagle coach, Chris Blocker, for catching one too many spelling mistakes I made, and for helping me in my scouting journey. Thank you to all the adults in my troop who not only helped me with my requirements, but who made scouting enjoyable. The last person I want to thank is someone who I've always looked up to since I was younger, my older brother, Evan. The whole reason I joined Scouts was because of you. I looked up to you so much when we were younger that I wanted to follow in your footsteps. In a way, without you, I would not be standing here in front of you, everyone, if it weren't for you. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, truly. My whole scouting journey had its ups and downs, but I'm grateful I got to share them with everyone here. It really means a lot for everyone's support during my journey, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
check that for spelling mistakes? Yeah, Blake's not kidding. Most of Blake's project issues was his spelling and his punctuation. Let's not discount the fact that periods have places. And I'm lost where I'm at. Actually, it says you're up next, sir. All right. Becoming an Eagle Scout is not the end from here. Well, Reverend Motter is here to tell you that.
Well, congratulations. You've made it. You've completed your trail to Eagle, and I and all the people in this room applaud your achievement. But now it is time for you to look toward the future, toward the many trails that are still ahead of you. How are you going to walk them? The same way you completed your trail to Eagle. Remember the lessons you learned along the way, and you'll be prepared to overcome any challenge you face. Do you remember when you first looked ahead to Eagle? How long and difficult the trail seemed back then, but you took the first step and then began the journey. One step at a time, you followed the trail laid out by others who came before you, and then when the path wasn't clearly marked, you found your own way, you made your own way, becoming a leader and setting an example for others who now follow. And through it all, by keeping your focus on the goal, you reached Eagle. You have many trails still waiting for you. Some may look intimidating, but every one of them can be completed. Set your goal. Take that first step. Follow the trail when it's clear, blaze your own when it's not, and always keep your eye on where you're going. Good luck, Blake, and enjoy the journey ahead.
No, this is you. You come do your thing.
Many times over the last few years, you've joined with your fellow scouts in repeating the scout oath. Now you will stand alone up here. Come on. And repeat a new oath, the Eagle Scout promise. Though the words you say are similar to those you've said so many times before, today they will mean more to you than they ever have. You're right, there's too many scripts up here. When you pledge yourself on your sacred honor, you will be sealing your oath with the words that close the Declaration of Independence. Now, Mr. Blocker, you come lead the Eagle Oath.
So Blake, as much as your father would love you to do this alone, I'm going to ask that all Eagle Scouts in attendance go ahead and stand at this time and rededicate yourselves by repeating the Eagle Scout promise with me and Blake. We ready? Scout sign. I reaffirm my allegiance to the three promises of the Scout Oath. I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training an example, my rank and my influence count strongly for better scouting and for better citizenship in my troop, in my community, and in my contacts with other people. To this, I pledge my sacred honor. 2, you may be seated, except for you. Don't go anywhere. Angela, told you weren't getting away. Come on up. No one will ever know the unnumbered acts of self-sacrifice from your mother. We tried, we couldn't count that high. I would like your mother to have the privilege of pinning your Eagle medal on your uniform. It's a pull, just, okay. I have a first aid kit if there's a problem over there. It's a rank. It goes over your rank. Do it on the pocket, it'll be easier. Nice catch. Shh. It's the end that matters, not the beginning. All right. So as you notice, your mother has her eagle ribbon, which seems to be missing something. So in recognition of your mother's devotion, please present her with her eagle mother's pin, completing her ribbon. Maybe we can talk about venturing after this. Never mind. So it says here that your father has been a source of advice and guidance along the Eagle Trail. And I'm going to tell you, it was a lot of long nights and discussions. So I'd like him to present your Eagle Scout certificate to you from National. Also says here you're supposed to robe the child. And, no ouchies, just a little bit of guidance. And your father will hand you your cloth rank that will replace the life one on your uniform. So in return, since your father has given you all this guidance, would you please present him with his Eagle Scout lapel pin? Would Blake's grandparents please stand? Well, grandparents, I'm sorry, I was not informed there was just one. In recognition of love, encouragement, and support that you have provided Blake throughout his scouting journey, he would like to present you with your grandparent pin. So we're nearing conclusion. Oh, he's running. He's running. He's still going. What? No hug? Nothing. Never mind. Sorry. Chris is putting his spin on the script. All right, guys, we're just about to the conclusion of today's ceremony, but we'd like to point out that in addition to earning the Eagle Scout rank, Blake has also earned several Eagle palms. And if you'll notice, we pre-pinned a couple of them on there for you in the configuration that they are supposed to be. Each palm represents the completion of 5 additional merit badges beyond those required of the Eagle Scout rank. So at the district level, when we execute a board, we execute all available palms at that point. So in Blake's case, you did a little bit of extra work, and we got you 4 palms. So 20 extra additional merit badges. That is 2 bronze palms, 1 gold palm, and 1 silver, which your dad has already given to you. So I'd like you all to understand that he doesn't wear all of those at once. He wears the maximum. So that is a silver and a bronze, culminating 20 total merit badges, which we've helped you with because, you know, spelling. Anyway, also in keeping tradition with our troop, we would have been loved to present your trophy here. So we unfortunately got hit with the holiday season. In our troop, we have a bust that is about the size of this podium that is fabricated for Blake. Unfortunately, the doors were locked when I got there today, so we're gonna have to give that to you later. I'm sure if you asked Mr. Miller, he'd be happy to show you what it looks like on his mantle place. All right, so throughout his scouting journey, Blake has been guided and supported by many individuals who've helped him along the way. And you apparently now want to recognize your mentors by presenting them with their mentorship pins in appreciation for their influence and guidance along the trail. Oh, that's interesting. That's even more interesting.
I didn't realize I was saying a speech for this too. I didn't prepare much. So, Mr. Blocker over here helped me a lot from the very beginning. He helped with requirements. He wasn't strict about my workbook, but he was definitely assertive. And during some requirements for merit badges, we had some great discussions. Wouldn't you agree?
I learned some things.
So, I would like to present you with a mentor pin.
You have a whole flap too, sir.
I do.
Oh, hang on. No, he does.
Oh, I know he does, but I don't.
Remember, every picture is like 5 more minutes of him editing. Come here. There you go. Good job, bud. Oh, I don't have a part, but I will say this, Blake. We spent a lot of time after meetings in a meeting because you came up at the end of the meeting and said, "Hey, Mr. Blocker, can we go for a requirement?" And we did, how many times did we do cooking merit badge? I mean, it feels like we did it for years, but it wasn't that bad, was it? And I'll be honest, guys, I wouldn't trade it for anything. Blake was a lot of fun to work with. Your project was an experience to itself. And as much as I gave you the grammar Nazi approach, it was because I couldn't find anything else wrong. I had to pick up on something. You are good, sir. All right, Mr. Dress.
Yes, you can both sit down for a second. It's at that time, typically, as we come to the end of each troop meeting, we pause for the Scoutmaster's minute. And when I say that the stopwatches come out, they come out and they're like, every single one of them. Yeah, well, you can put them away. This is the time when the Scoutmaster shares a brief thought or a pearl of wisdom for the Scouts to carry with them for the coming week. As I said, maybe a 2-minute Scoutmaster minute. You can't. A simple sentence that could have a lot of meaning. From the beginning, we made it a point for Blake to not use the syndrome as a crutch, but rather to find ways to overcome it. But no matter what we said, you still had the outside world saying, you can't. You can't play sports, but a coach steps in and says, yeah, you may not be able to play, but you can be the team manager. Every sport, every practice, every game, every event. But he was there. Until at the end, coach comes to him, says, you want to actually join in and perform at a track meet? And signs him up for 3 events after we got the medical clearance. Now, we don't need to talk about how he performed at those events, but it's the fact that he was there and participated. can't run a toy drive. Of course, that might have been me. But over 10 years later, and over 10,000 toys delivered, he showed us, don't tell him you can't. You can't walk down the street without the possibility of dislodging your retina. So Blake just didn't walk down the street. He decided to go off-roading to the trails of Philmount Scout Ranch, and not only hiked approximately 70 miles while when it was all said and done, but actually climbed to the top of a mountain peak, all while carrying a backpack that weighed over 40 pounds. For good measure, that wasn't enough, so this last summer, we followed it up with a trip to the Summit Bechtel Scout Reserve, which we didn't have to carry around a backpack this time, but for every event, we still had to walk at least 3 miles just to get to the event. Of course, after the event was over, then we had to walk back to the main camp and then walk around camp just to get food. I forgot what the total mileage on that camp out was, but it was close to another 50 miles when it was all said and done. You can't march in the band. But let's add a little context. He could play in the band, but he just didn't want to play. He wanted to be out in the field marching, carrying not just any instrument, but he has to carry the quads. So to train for that, Genius decides to have me buy him a training vest with the sandbags in it. Took all the sandbags out of the vest and carried it around in his backpack until one of his doctors says, that's not a good idea. He may not have made it into a competition, but he did get on the field and march a halftime show, and he marched in several parades with the quads without any help. In scouting, I believe, Blake found a place that stopped telling him you can't, but helped him show him ways that he could. And that is what we're here to celebrate today. As we draw this Eagle Court of Honor to a close, I'd like to thank each of you for being here today. It really means a lot to not only him, but to the family. I also want to thank Reverend Motter and the Creekwood Church for allowing us to use the facility and for hosting us today, and for all the support that they have shown throughout his life, not only here in scouting, but in his life in general. Before we conclude, I'd like to remind everyone that there will be a reception that's going to be held in the great room down the hallway, back in the back over here. Appreciate it if everybody would stay around. And as I mentioned, look at the garden that the Scouts and Blake put together. At the close of each troop meeting, we traditionally circle up and recite our closing chant. So, with all current and former members of the troop, please come forward. Oh, Evan, you can throw yourself in there for the fun of it. I'd like to ask the crowd to join in, stand, if they would stand and join in with them. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. This Court of Honor is now closed. Please join us for reception in the great room.